Welcome to a new anime review series. This is episode 1 of the 7 Deadly Sins anime review. Yep. This one covering the very first season of the series. Yeah, released from 2015 to 2016. And yes, I watched the entire thing dubbed. hmm Now, simply put, some of the people who actually, worked on this particular series, I have seen in other works, like the actresses who do Hawk and the character Elizabeth, who is the in the series she is the third princess of the Kingdom of Leonis. Yeah, both these two people, both from Hunter x Hunter. Yep, the main actor of the series, Bruce Probach, who voices Meliodas. Yeah, those of you who know ever heard the dub voice for Eren Yeager for Attack on Titan, yeah, it's the same guy. He also voices Caesar Zeppeli from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Yep. Now, the seven deadly sins are named after the actual deadly sins of man. Though, by the end of the first season, only six are basically found. Meliodas is the dragon sin of wrath. He's a demon. He's also a demon and a pervert. Yep, he is a pervert. And he loves groping Elizabeth. The other ones are Deanne, who is the serpent sin of envy. Yep, and she's voiced by Erica Mendez, who is the voice of Sailor Uranus and Gon. Yeah, this is kind of a weird thing when it comes to the series. It seems like anybody working on the series, some of these female voice actors worked on Hunter x Hunter because the three of the four main characters voiced by women. hmm Yeah, Bond, who is the he's the fox sin of greed. Yeah, he's a guy who he's an immortal and he fell in love with a fairy who looks like a little girl. Despite the fact she is 700 years old and she died in a flashback. Oh yeah. Oh, and Deanne. Deanne is a 30-foot giant who is who at when we watch this, especially in the manga. I mean, she has a crush on the captain, but really she's in love with somebody else. Yep. Then you also have King, who is the grizzly bear of sloth. His real name is Harley Quinn. I'm not kidding, that's really his real name. You also have Gothar. Now, King is a fairy. And now, if you're wondering how Meliodas is, he is 12,000 years old. And he's never, he looks like a guy in his teens. Bond looks like a guy in his early 30s. Yeah, and the way that some of these characters dress, I mean, Meliodas basically dresses in a white button-up shirt, black vest, and a loose tie with shorts and elf boots. Yep. Elizabeth, for pretty much the entire series, wears a pink button-up top with a female-style bow tie, one legging, black high heels, and a short skirt. Deanne, who pretty much wears the same outfit whenever she's in Giant Sense form, it's this one-piece. I think it's kind of like a fighting outfit from what I remember from it. Yeah, and the color is yellow. And oh yeah, she's a brunette. Bond dresses in this is his normal look of the whole series. It's a red jacket with like strange like little spikes on it. It's like he's like hippie and edge. Also, he's got a scar on his neck. Meliodas has got a scar on his neck as well. Yeah, apparently something to do with Elizabeth. In the case of King, he looks like a little boy, wearing a hoodie, and a lot of time he gets injured. Gothar, believe it or not, this is not revealed till a little bit later. Gothar is a doll. Yeah, he's a doll, and he acts like a robot. He's got no emotions, and he's the sin of lust. Now, some of these character sins are revealed very early on. Deanne, I don't really remember exactly what her sin is. Now, Meliodas, his sin is he's blamed for the destruction of a country. Bond, the burning of the fairy village. For King, it is the massacre of a village. In the case of Gothar, I'm not sure what his sin was. And then the last one introduced before the end of the season is Merlin. You're thinking, Merlin? You mean the old man who hangs around with King Arthur? Merlin is a woman in this series, a smoking hot woman who looks like she's in her 30s, but she's actually 3,000 years old. And her outfit is this: a very loose jacket that barely covers her chest, a very thin, short shorts, high boots. Oh yeah, and also the back of her coat, the jacket that she wears, shows off part of her back. Yeah, it looks like she walks around half naked. Oh yeah, and she's got like little hearts on one side. Her character kind of reminds me of Nico Robin from One Piece, in the fact that she's taller than the main character, and there's implied interaction between her and the main character, despite the fact the main character not being attracted to her anyways. Yeah, that is. It seems like the creator of this series took notes from Nico Robin, like took like little elements of her and put her into Merlin. Yeah, put into Merlin. And Merlin is by far the second and last member of the Seven Deadly Sins who is a woman. There is also the guy who was known as Pride. He doesn't appear until sometime later. I'm not kidding about it. His name is Elshar, and he's the lion son of Pride. And he's a coward. Yeah. The guy is by far the only person in the Tiger who's actually human. Bon is an immortal. He became immortal by drinking the Fountain of Youth. Yeah. So he looks exactly the same for 20 years. And also, he's attracted to two women. Not only the woman he's in love with, which is a fairy, her name is Elaine, who is King's sister, and a woman named Jericho, who was one of the Holy Knights. Yeah, who twice in the series, Bond strips butt naked. Though the first time he did it, he stripped her down to her underwear. The second time, he stripped her completely naked. I'm not kidding about this. And people ask him, what'd you do, sir? I took all her clothes off at once. Despite the fact he's not attracted to this woman, apparently he loves stripping her. No idea why. He just does. He doesn't hit her at all. Also, there's this particular knight who actually is a daughter of an old friend of Meliodas. Let's see, what is his name? What's her name here? Yeah, Gula, who's actually the daughter of an old friend of Meliodas who disappeared years prior. And Meliodas basically had no choice but to kill him when he got turned into a monster. This was a hint of what happened in the Infiltration arc, which kind of ended this particular season. Excuse me. And if you wonder who Hawk is a talking pig. Yes, he is. Now, in the case of this first season, this adapts the first 100 chapters of the so far released, the series is still ongoing, of a 267 chapter manga. The first I've got to right now is 179. I haven't got any further than that because I'm still waiting to get volumes 23 and 24 from the library. Though they do have 25 and 26 of the stuff released here. They have that on order right now. These are the arcs they cover in these episodes. The first two episodes adapt the introduction arc, which is roughly 3 chapters. 3 and 4 is the White Dreams arc, which is the one that introduced Deanne, and that covers chapters 4 through 7. The episodes 4 through 6 is the best dungeon arc, which introduces Bond. That covers chapters 8 to 16. Episodes 7 to 9 cover the Capital Dead. This is the one that introduces King. That covers chapters 17 and 26, which Gula also gets introduced in the arc as well. Jericho got introduced in the arc. Best Dungeon, that's where she got introduced. Then you have 9 to 13, which cover the Vizsla Fight Festival arc, which at this point, this kind of introduced the this is kind of where Gothar first showed up, but he didn't rejoin the group until the next arc. Yeah, this is the arc where they have like a fight festival, which is kind of like their own version of a tournament in a way, but no magic per se. They do revisit a little bit later. Now, not many series done this. The only series I can think of done this have been pretty much like all 4 Dragon Ball series, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter. Let's see. I know My Hero Academia has done it. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Fairy Tail, and I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Akame got killed that had a tournament as well. I'm trying to think. Was any other series? No, this is probably by far the 10th series so far where they've actually had a tournament in the series. I've heard one person describe this series is it's like Fairy Tail, but not as trashy. Though I do enjoy Fairy Tail. I, of course, done a review of it. Check out my 10-part review of the entire anime, plus all this 2 films and the OVAs that the series had. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. The Armored Giant arc, which is basically in chapters 14 and 15. This covers chapters 51 and 59, and the last 9 episodes, which are episodes 16 24. This covers 41 chapters, 60 to 100. The Kingdom Infiltration arc, though it kind of starts adapting the arc that comes right after the post-Kingdom Infiltration, which is from chapters 101 and 07. Yeah. Now, in the case of how they do these particular chapters, they stick pretty close. Excuse me, how they present the manga. Now, in the case of Elizabeth, I thought she was a blonde. I can tell by looking black and white that she was a blonde. It turns out she's actually platinum blonde. Yeah, if you look, her hair is like very like grayish, but it's platinum blonde hair. She's actually the second character I've ever seen. First character in a manga / anime I've actually seen with this particular hair color. The only other character I can think of who's had this particular hair color is the Black Cat from Marvel Comics. Yeah, she's got the same hair color. But for a female character in an anime and a manga, having this particular hair color is unique. Because this is not a hair color you normally see associated with an anime. Like, for a female character, like, here's one for you. How many women have the color of pink for their hair? Off the top of my head, there's only one, and that's Sakura from Fairy Tail. And a lot of the time, usually when you see fiction, usually a female character's hair is either blonde, brunette, or redhead. But platinum blonde, that is something I've never seen for an anime before, much less a manga, and that's quite unique. Deanne is a brunette. Bon he's got a very strange hairstyle. It kind of looks like a mix between blue and gray. Yeah, that's it. That's what his hair color is. Elaine is a blonde. That's King's sister. King is a brunette. Let's see. Merlin is raven hair color. That's another thing that the raven hair color thing, that's actually quite common in a lot of manga and anime. A lot of anime I reviewed where characters had this raven color hair. Male characters have had it, but not many of them. But in the case of female characters, aside from Merlin, the only ones I could personally think of that actually had this particular hair color have been Chi-Chi from the Dragon Ball franchise, Boa Hancock from One Piece, Rukia Kutsuki from Bleach. I'm trying to think there was anybody else. At the top of my head, I'm trying to think here. Female characters with raven color hair. Oh, Nico Robin, you gotta include her. You gotta include her. Definitely. Trying to think. Oh yeah, Akame from Akame Got a Kill. She's got raven hair. Her sister Kurome. Trying to think here. Oh yeah. Trying to think of her name. uh, Kagome from Inuyasha, but this is very common for Japanese. A lot of them have black hair. Rurouni Kenshin's his future wife, she's got black hair. hmm Yep. Was there any other one? I think the one I can think of is that one character from season 3 from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. It is Yuriki, I think her name is. Yeah, the girl who becomes the girlfriend of the best friend of the main of the JoJo of part 4 of the JoJo Bizarre franchise. Yeah, but the last one before Merlin, off the top of my head, was that's from an actual anime. I could say it's Kriti from My Hero Academia. I think she's got raven. Yeah, she's got raven hair. But yeah, it's not something you see very common for female characters. Yeah, as a female leads, as far as I know, none of them do. If you look at, let's say, Hinata from Naruto, her hair is blue. Yes, her hair is blue. Some people might think it's black or purple, but it's blue. That's how it's colored, both in when they picture on the cover. Her hair is blue. Heck, her hair is even blue a lot of the time when she's older, though her hair goes down to her rear end. Yeah, but otherwise though, this was overall a really good season. Exciting, and definitely something I recommend for people who want to try something out. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, one thing interesting about the series is the whole thing with knights, and the fact that I'm familiar with the Seven Deadly Sins, the actual ones, and the whole concept seemed interesting to me. So I decided to check the series out, and I really enjoy it. hmm I love all the characters. In the case of my favorite female character for this whole series, I could say it could be Merlin. Merlin's an interesting character herself. But if I would pick basically who my favorite female character, it would probably have to be Diane. Yeah, because she is one unstoppable woman, and she's one of the most bravest women in the whole entire series. Male character, obviously Meliodas because he's a badass. I would say second favorite is probably Bond. Yeah, he is so interesting. Especially his dial. Whenever he exchanges any dialogue with Meliodas, it's so interesting. And he's got one awesome weapon. It's basically it's kind of like nunchucks, but it's like a baton type of thing he swings around, but it's kind of like nunchucks. Meliodas doesn't use a weapon, he does have a partial sword, but that's really it. Diane uses a giant hammer. King uses a spear. Merlin doesn't use any weapons I can think of. Gothar had an armor, but it was destroyed. Though I do kind of remember something about him having a kid he was calling Master, but I think they changed that for some reason. They completely cut that off from the anime for some reason. I don't know why. Arthur is pretty much exactly the same as the manga. I love the fact he actually has a helmet, which is something you don't see for Arthur that often when you see him in fiction. You see him wearing armor, but never a helmet. That's one thing you gotta praise about this particular series is they bothered to give him an actual helmet. It's a really cool looking helmet. It's got a couple horns on. It's got like 3 thing horn. It's a really cool looking helmet. It covers his face up, and when you think of any kind of series that features King Arthur himself, his head is never covered at all unless, of course, it's with a crown. But a helmet that covers his whole face, that is cool. As for his armor being gold, this is only the second time I've seen this where his armor has been depicted as gold. The only time I can think of that's been like this was in the series King Arthur Knights Round Table. That was a cartoon series aired in the 90s. I watched that on YouTube. It was the whole concept of the series was that King Arthur and his Knights Round Table had completely disappeared, so Merlin dragged these football players from the future and have them become the new knights. And just by sheer coincidence, their quarterback's name was Arthur. Arthur King. And he took over for King Arthur. And Guinevere basically was briefly captured, though she was later freed. But it's interesting that they threw in King Arthur. And in fact, the series is set in Britannia. Yeah, the only time I've heard that name for now, basically Britannia is the UK. Yep, it's England. Though in the past, it's more like medieval England in a way. But yeah, overall, great first season. Now, the next episode, I'm going to cover Signs of Holy War. I'm basically halfway through it right now. I have 2 more episodes to go, but next time we do right after this one, like right after I finish watching the episode, will be Tokyo Re. Okay? But until I see you all in my next part, next video, bye.